You are listening to
The Free Amigos.
Hey, I'm Casper.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Tony. Welcome everyone to the last episode of the current season of the podcast. I just want to say thank you to all the amazing people we've had on the podcast on its opening and inaugural season. And as ever, I'll introduce you to my other two amigos. We have Casper over there in Lombok, Indonesia. How are we doing, Casper?
Hey guys, yeah, having an amazing day. I came up with something new today. When I woke up this morning, I thought Monday is going to be the new Sunday. So I'm just literally wearing my Sunday pants, just my, like the jogging kind of, my relaxation suit, as I call it. Went to the beach, went for a swim, had a beer at sunset. Perfect Sunday on a Monday. Great day.
Wow.
Rub it in, why
Sunday
don't you?
suit. Yeah. I'll gladly swap my Monday for your Sunday any day, Casper. Any day, brother. Love it. And we have Mark over there in Langley in Berkshire. How are we doing, Mark?
Yeah, not quite as exotic here, unfortunately. But,
but the sun's out there, isn't it?
It's sunny, yeah, so I can work in the garden. And as soon as this whole lockdown is over, I'll be heading to the beach somewhere, I think. But for now, yeah, sunny Berkshire. But all good, mate. Yeah, for a Monday.
Awesome. Good to hear it, buddy. And our very special guest today is a Mr. Nick Roberts. How you doing, Nick? And where are you coming in from today?
Yeah, very good, man. Good to be here. I'm in Bath at the moment. Yeah, beautiful day in Bath.
Beautiful.
That is awesome, Bath, yeah.
I've been.
For the people that are listening, he's not literally in a bath, he's in Bath.
No.
I'm not in the Bath. I'm in the beautiful town of Bath. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a really lush town, beautiful architecture.
It is beautiful, yeah.
Sunny day, and some amazing little canal towns around that you can explore. Although today I went to look for one, and I went to Radstock. I've got to say, it wasn't my favourite. There's
Radstock.
The name says it all. Radstock.
Sounds like a festival.
There's a mining museum. And there's a mining museum and a children's playground, and that was about it. So, yeah, I cut the trip early and came back.
Scrap that one then.
Yeah.
Don't go there. That's good that you're able to get out and about there on a Monday and just check out what's around the area, you know. Freedom lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of a Casper, really. Sunday's the new Monday here as well.
Yeah. Why not? Why do you have to be miserable on a Monday?
In fact, it sort of came about because I wasn't really keeping track of the days of the week. And just Sunday just spilled into Monday, yeah. So
every day's a weekend. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome.
Let's just go in. I just want to go into a bit of the theme for this one. We're going to talk a bit around overcoming a scarcity mindset and the fear of money and not having enough money. It's something I think comes up for everybody at some point on this journey to becoming an entrepreneur, and it's something that I think Nick seemingly overcame extremely well early on. You know, he was the first of our little group to see any sort of significant success. So I just love the way he kind of threw himself into the whole thing, and he didn't have that fear around money that a lot of us have. It's something that I got stuck with for a while. But before we get on to that, I just want to go into like a bit of your story, because I was just reading up on it today. It's incredible. You've done a lot of traveling around, haven't you, in your life? Do you just want to sort of fill us in on where exactly you've lived altogether in your life so far?
Yeah, I've been to quite a few places. I used to live in Switzerland when I was sort of a teenager. Moved out there with my parents. Beautiful place to live. And moved back to London. I did my art degree, and when I came out of art degree, couldn't get a job doing art. So I just got a job in the pub, really, which was it's a great sort of first job to have. I was working in the pub, and I think this is quite relevant on the scarcity thing. I was working in the pub for years, and you never really have much money. Working in the pub, we were all living in this big house. There was 12 people. It wasn't a squat, but it was one of these ones where you can become like a guardian of a house, and you can sort of occupy it for a really cheap rent. But it was absolute squalor, and none of us had any money between us. And I remember you work in the pub, you're living week by week, and at one point I was thinking, I can't carry on living like this, like not forever at least. And I put all my money towards one of these TEFL degrees. So you do a 1 month teaching English abroad
the same.
Qualification. And I literally put all my money into it, all my savings I had. And then I put the rest of my money into a plane ticket. And I had about £1,000 left in the bank. All right, so I cleaned myself out. And then literally within a week of finishing my teaching English qualification, I applied for about 12 jobs in countries all around the world. Got an interview, chose my favourite, which happened to be in Shanghai, and just flew out there and just turned up. And I remember at the time a lot of my mates were saying, Nick, you're absolutely mad, mate. It's like this was like a real rash decision, you know what I mean? You just up and left. You gave us a week's notice, you know. I quit all my bands in London and everything. Just went out there. And this is a great example of scarcity. I turned up with like very little money, and when I arrived I had to find a flat. And it turns out the money I had, you had to put a 3-month deposit on any flat that you got. I didn't even have enough to get a flat. And I ended up negotiating with this landlord who had this property which was sort of under development, like it was being built. And he had a builder living in it. And this builder was like sanding the walls and plastering the walls and just repainting the whole place. So the whole place was just dust and plaster and just paint. And he said, yeah, look, you can live here for free until you get your first income from your teaching job. So you can live here for a month for free. And so this was my life for my first month in Shanghai. I was sleeping on a balcony in October. I was sleeping out on the balcony because it was too dusty in the flat. I'd taken a curtain off one of the walls and I'd wrapped myself in that. That was my blanket.
Wow.
My jeans were my pillow. And the builder was mixing plaster in the bathtub. And so every morning you go in, you'd have a shower, you know, on your way to work, and then you'd have to get out and shower the plaster off your legs. And then you get dressed and then you go to work. Then you do your full day's work and then you just come back to that. And I was just living off, and I was just eating like instant noodles from the supermarket, like 10p instant noodles. Did that for a month. And I remember thinking, like, what are you doing? Like, this was absolute madness. Like, a bit more preparation could have been nice, a bit more money saved aside could have helped. And looking back on it, it was actually the best move you could make. Was I didn't let scarcity or lack of money stop me from just jumping into it.
Yeah.
And once I got through that first month and the first paycheck came in, I was laughing. I managed to get a proper flat. We had a good group of mates. I ended up staying out there for like 7 years. And I got really good at my job, and I became I was like a kindergarten teacher, music teacher for the little kids, like teaching ukulele and stuff like that. And then the school, they loved my teaching style so much that they got me to develop the whole curriculum for all the other schools. They were like a chain, and I went and like trained up the other teachers and all of this stuff. And it's just I don't know if the scarcity thing had stopped me from taking that leap, none of that might ever have happened. And there's been quite a few examples of that in my life where you just got to go for it, even if the timing doesn't seem right, and especially if the money doesn't seem right. Because money is one of those things where you never really think you have enough. You know what I mean? It's like that safety net beneath you. And how much do you need to feel really safe?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you put an actual figure on it? So anyway, I thought I'd just open with that.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because that's obviously helped you develop this mindset that you need to have as an entrepreneur, which is just to, this is something I've come up against recently, which is investing money in a business and not seeing instant returns. And it's like you see that money kind of going away each day and nothing coming back. And it's like, now
I know that feeling too well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I'm okay with that, but certain other people close to me, that makes them very nervous. They're like, okay, where's the return on this investment? And it's something that I'm having to get used to. The idea of just letting money flow. Not just hoarding it. investing in something and not getting, maybe it could be months and months before you see a return on it. But you really need that mindset, don't you? If you're going to make a success of being an entrepreneur and your own business, I think.
You definitely do. You need to get that shift where you're putting money into something and you might not be getting sort of direct returns money-wise back, but you're paying for something. So you're paying for a skill set. You know, you're paying, you're getting skills, doing your thing. As what you're doing, you're paying for leads. You know what I mean? These leads that you're collecting, they might have a huge buying cycle. You know, it might take them 6 months for you to actually get a commission from that lead.
Yeah.
So you're waiting on that, and also with all the paid ads, I realised like you've just got to let them run for like a good week or two before you've even got the data to start analysing your stuff.
Yeah.
And at first that was terrifying, seeing like 20 quid a day trickling away. 10 days later you're like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't seen a single commission. What's going on? And no, actually, you're just getting your data, and then you can just turn off everything that's not really working, optimize your campaign, and happy days, isn't it?
So you kind of pay for the data there, right? I mean, everyone has that thing that especially when it comes to starting your business as in affiliate, your first sale, whatever it is, and whatever you're doing. It will be, you get $10, but you have spent 200. It will, by definition, sound ridiculous, but it's not. So the 200 that you spend is not on that first sale, but it's on the data that you get and the knowledge that you get from that data.
Yeah, that's very well put. You at the beginning, the first 2 weeks. I mean, it depends what your budget is, but the first 2 weeks, you're collecting your data, and then you've got enough information to know what to turn off and what to keep running. And once you turn off everything that's wasting your money, your actual campaign can become pretty profitable pretty quickly.
Yeah, your decisions are driven by your data. They'll lead you and guide you anyway. You just have that initial learning period, haven't you, when you start a new campaign and discover and let the algorithm do its thing, that the data amassed, and then it paints a picture for you. Once you learn what all the metrics mean, it will tell you what you need to change, drop, or improve, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that the whole thing is actually, although it sounds like what you said, Mark, is like you see money going out, and you don't really. It's quite difficult to see what's coming in. But the principle, of course, is quite easy. That if you want to start a grocery shop, you need groceries and a shop. You can't just start with an empty. You can't start on the street standing there.
Clues in the name.
Very well put, mate.
You need to buy the groceries first, and you need to pay the rent for the shop, and then people can come in. But you need that money first. You need that investment first.
Yeah, there's got to be investment in bricks and mortar or online. You've got to make an upfront investment in some way, shape, or form, whether that's time, money, or effort, isn't it? Before you start seeing any type of return. I think people don't always clock onto that concept in the digital realms anyway initially.
Yeah, I think there's a few. So what I've started to realise, I had about a month where I got a bit ClickBank mad, as you do. I just went on to ClickBank. I'm like, I'm just gonna sell this and this and this, and I was just pissing about. And they've got all your email swipes on there, and they've got all your material. So it's really easy to promote this stuff. But a lot of the products are just absolute poor quality. But the good thing about them is there's such some of the stuff is such low ticket products. Like maybe $20, $30 for a product, that you can actually see a commission back really quickly. And it's, I don't know, I felt it quite nice that after like a day or two of running an ad, you got commission back. It was very reassuring to be like, oh yeah, cool. So actually this online marketing does actually work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was a nice little interlude for me to do that ClickBank stuff and waste a bit of time with it, because it was like, oh yeah, actually you can.
So just going back, because obviously now you're in online business, as we all are, and you've just got the mindset, I think, to make it work. But where was it then that this kind of, almost like this switch went on and you decided, okay, I'm going to get into this, online business and marketing online? What was that? Was there a kind of a a light bulb moment there, or just something that kind of just as always entrepreneurial spirit has always kind of appealed to you, creating your own business?
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't say the entrepreneurial things were. I didn't really know anything about it, to be honest, until November 2019. I didn't really know anything about it. I hadn't really thought about it. What I did do was, as I said, I didn't get back on this. I was supposed to go back to Shanghai. I didn't get back on that plane, and I decided to stay in England, take a year off.
Because you were living in Shanghai, you moved back to.
So I was living in Shanghai, and I came back. I came back to England for a summer holiday, and then I decided, you know what? I've just reached a time in my life where I don't want to go back to that job, even though I love it and I'm good at it. What I wanted to be doing is I wanted to be focusing on my music. So I was building a YouTube guitar channel. It just focused on Celtic music. I figure out Celtic songs by ear, transcribe them with different tunings, and do all the guitar tabs and all that sort of stuff. And I just said, look, I just want to be doing this. And I thought, okay, well, that's not, I mean, it's a very sort of niche thing, and Celtic guitar, and I'm not sure it's ever going to make me any money, but I love it. Yeah. So I thought, you know what, if this is what you want to be doing, you just need to have something on the side which is going to allow you to prop up this hobby. You know what I mean? That's it. I love this hobby so much, and I don't want a 9-to-5 job to take away from it at all. So I need to find some kind of passive income stream to prop that up. So that's literally the affiliate marketing was just to prop up a hobby. And you got to find, it comes back to you got to find your reason why. You got to find something that you love so much that justifies all the time and effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was the guitar. I just wanted to prop this thing up so much. And as I said, I mean, I don't see myself making much money from like doing, like Celtic guitar. It's just not that massive of a.
Well, you never know.
You never know, though. There's a niche for everyone. There's a niche in everything.
There is.
I wouldn't be surprised if you could make a business out of it.
No, I'd love to do an online course at some point and do all that. But for me, my main thing really, I'm gonna go to Taiwan in October and go meet up with my mates. I've got an accordion player out there, and we're gonna go jump back on the Celtic stuff and just play in bands around Taipei. And again, when I go out there, I don't want to have to get a 9-to-5 job when I arrive. It just takes away so much energy from what you want to be doing.
Yes, yeah.
So I want that passive income, that online business to be propping up
what you love to do. Yeah.
And we were just talking about that today, as I sent some pictures to the guys of like I said, I'm turning my Monday into a Sunday, and I'm chilling out at the beach. And then Mark replied to me like, well, you're living the dream. And I was thinking about that, because I actually went like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And having that 9-to-5 job is not providing that foundation under what I want to do. It's actually blocking everything I want to do. And it was kind of like a decision moment. It was not even like I'm going to do this and it's going to be a big leap. No, it's just like, this is not going to work, and this is what I want to do. And I'm going to do that. And if I'm getting broke, to get back to the scarcity there, I don't care. I can sleep on the street if I have to, but I will make sure that I don't have to, and then the karma rules come in, etc., etc. But it's kind of like knowing what your passion is, where you want to go, and then. And for me, it was quite easy as well, as we talked about in previous spots. It's like I get mentally ill and I get physically ill when I go back to Amsterdam. And here, I feel healthy. So health is the most important thing in life. So I'm going to live here. Without money, I don't care. Yeah. Let's see what happens. And then the money comes in anyway.
Yeah, and this is really where I wanted to take this pod, in that I think there's an issue around trust. If we take it to a deeper level, just trusting in that the universe will provide. And also, I know Casper has touched on it before, this story about just losing everything. And then, you might, that's obviously a nightmare scenario for someone, just losing everything apart from the clothes on your back. And then realizing, I think in the West, we think to ourselves, oh, we're done for, we're finished. But it's not actually like,
what's going to happen?
money.
What's going to happen? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to die.
You do survive. How much money do you need? You don't need all this savings and like keep saving and saving and saving and saving, which is the kind of Western model. You know, and in shamanism, it's more, they teach around money being just kind of like an energy that just kind of flows in and out. You don't hoard it, you just let it go and it comes back in. You know, it's almost like a karma thing. You know, if you do good with the money, it'll come back. And it's a trusting in the universe.
It's not just the money. I think that the money is, but that's my opinion here, is that the money is an in-between thing. It's the things that you own. So the stuff that you own. And for me, like when I travel, I want to travel fast, I want to travel far. So if especially when you're hitchhiking through Africa, for instance, you can't have like a massive backpack with all your stuff and a second backpack and maybe a suitcase, because the car is not going to stop. So I've got like this tiny little backpack with nothing in it. Well, my laptop, some clothes, toothbrush, shampoo, that's about it. And still I live like that because I can travel faster. It's the stuff you own that weighs you down to go towards your dreams. Not the money you own. The money you need to go towards your dreams, but the stuff you own weighs you down. But I think. There's someone at the door somewhere.
Oh, it's me again.
Travel light, mate.
Travel light, yeah.
Travel light. I was traveling around China, and then I was traveling around China for a good 3 months, sort of out in the desert. And just like you said, just a tiny rucksack with a swimming costume, little sort of Hawaiian shirt, yeah, exactly, nice, you know, just to not accentuate, and a little ukulele. That was it. Yeah, that was my little travel bag.
That's it.
Right.
And I tell you, that ukulele opened more doors and got us quite a bit of free fruit. So it was, yeah.
No, so one of the things that happened with me is when I started traveling, and it's kind of what you just said, Nick, as well, is when I started traveling, and then I realized I didn't want to go back to Amsterdam. But I still had a house with stuff and everything that I thought was me. All the things I collected, my books, my chairs, and my favorite this and that and that. But I was paying rent. I was paying, I think, like 800, 900 euros a month while I was not using the apartment, which was a bit stupid, I thought, because I could use that same amount of money to travel the whole world. So I put everything in a storage and started traveling again. And then after a year, I was like, I don't even know what's in the storage. I'm paying 300 euros a month for storage, and I don't even know what's in there. And my favorite things, of course, I went back to Amsterdam and I opened the storage and I gave everything away. We talked about this before. But my favorite thing is, you know what was in that storage? It was like a massive pack of printing paper that I just bought before I started traveling. Well, when I went traveling, you're not going to throw it away. So where do you put it? In the storage. And now you're paying rent for a pack of printing paper that you're not using. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And this is the moment when I found out, like, we are so connected, or we think that we're so connected with the things we have, but it's just stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or does it make you you? I don't know.
Well, some people will define themselves by their material belongings, won't they? I think that's can be quite common in, I suppose, Western society, isn't it?
There's the man who just got a new car.
You've got to learn just to... It is, and I'll hold my hand up. I'm one of the biggest culprits of that. Yeah. I like my stuff, I like my toys, but I hope it wouldn't define me by anything. You say... When my day comes and on my tombstone, it's not going to be hopefully having words about what stuff I actually owned and bought and what belongings I took away with me, because like you say, same with money, you can't take it to the grave with you, can you? It's useless then. So
yeah, but there's nothing wrong with money. Good. You know, people almost see it as like an evil thing, don't they? But if you can afford to get nice stuff, you know, why not? But I think there's an issue, perhaps, as we're talking about here, with it weighing you down and stopping you from living every day like it's your last, like we started off with. You know, Casper was talking about there. Like, you know, we all know that we should live every day like it's our last, because there might not be a tomorrow. But and I think, you know, Casper's got that mindset. It sounds like Nick's got that mindset as well, of just not letting this stuff weigh you down, like a mortgage and a car and, you know, whatever it might be. These stuff on the stuff we accumulate, material possessions, and then they just kind of keep us anchored in place, don't they? Like we don't live every day like we'd love to do. And no, it's part of our journey with creating our own digital businesses, I think, isn't it? To just free things up. At least we can lose the 9 to 5, which keeps so many people trapped in their lives.
Yeah, agreed.
Also, Nick, like, I'm sure I've heard your story before, where you did make some sacrifices, didn't you? I think, like did you move back home at one point as well to save the money?
I'm
back with your mum.
So I'm here at the moment. Yeah, I came back. So I was supposed to go back out to Shanghai and do another year at this job, and I called him up. I packed it in. I recommended a good mate of mine to replace me. So he was happy. I got him a good job, and the school were quite happy because he's pretty good as well. So that all went fine. Yeah, I came in. I moved in with my mum, and originally it was just going to be for 6 months tops, I think, because I had a ticket booked for Taiwan in May, and then with the whole virus thing, it turns out it's running on a little bit longer. But it's just going to be 6 months just to get things together. But as I said, like Casper was saying earlier, you realise what you want to do, what's most important to you. So obviously he's prioritising his health and his sort of, I guess, his physical and mental well-being. I mean, they're tied in, aren't they? So he's prioritising that. I'm prioritising guitar. I just want to die knowing I can shred a solo over any single star of music. Yeah. That's what I want to do. It's like it's a simple man's dream, but I would die happy if I could literally just shred and go to any town and get up and open mics and jam with any musician over anything. And I want to make music courses in the future and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, that's my thing. And a 9 to 5 job is just in the way of that.
Yeah, that doesn't fit in, does it? That's a square peg in a round hole for you, isn't it?
Exactly. They are not compatible. And as Cass was saying, if it's a case of going broke, or just living with nothing really, as long as I can do what I want to do. I mean, I was literally thinking of if everything doesn't pan out, I just move to Cambodia and just float on my savings in Cambodia and just keep the guitar going for as long as I can. You know what I mean? Because life's so cheap out there. Literally, I will sacrifice anything just to carry on playing the guitar.
Yeah,
love it.
And that's where my drive for the online business is coming from. Yeah.
Well, it's Napoleon Hill states, isn't it? Any dream has to start off with a burning desire, because you won't get anywhere without one. And you obviously have that burning desire there, and that's what's driving you, and you'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly. I just read that Napoleon Hill book, actually, just like the past week. Was that the
Think and Grow Rich?
Think and Grow Rich,
yeah.
Yeah, I got a PDF of it. It's really good.
It is good, but it stuck with me that saying all dreams and anything, before you start, you have to have a burning desire. And if you don't, there's probably no point even starting, because it's not going to succeed when you hit hurdles, and that's inevitable. You will get hurdles, and trying to realise any dream, won't you? Unless you have that burning desire to fuel you and keep you going, you're probably not going to succeed ultimately. Yeah, it sounds 100% you have that within you.
You're very right. I think you need that burning desire. You need that obsession for something. That thing that you just love and would be doing. That thing that you'd be doing anyway, just in your day, because you just love it. I've realised something though, it's very nice to, what I've been doing recently is I've been reminding myself why I love it so much. So I've got a little audio that I put in. I'm lying in bed, and I haven't quite got out of bed in the morning, but I'm still like, oh, you're being productive, because I've got this little audio, and it's just basically of, I call it the daily fuel. And it plays back my sort of my reasons why I'm doing everything I'm doing at the moment. And it's got a little bit about why I'm doing the online business, and it's reminded me, okay, well, mate, you're doing your online business because that will provide you the finances to carry on doing the guitar. And then I've got a little audio section on, so why do you love the guitar so much? It's not like I really need to remind myself, but I realised recently that every single friend I have in my life, every single one of my friends since I was about 12 years old, they've all been somehow connected to music. So I've met friends in all these different countries and stuff. And every single one of them, I've met them through music. We've been in a band together. We've been at jams together. We've always connected over that. And I've just realized that it's way bigger than just guitar. It's actually, guitar has given me so guitar has been directly linked to my confidence. Like before, I used to get up on stage and my hands would shake and my voice would sort of tremble when I was singing. And after a few months of getting up repeatedly and doing it, like that, my whole confidence was fine around that. I realized guitar was, it was just linked to, it's much more than an instrument. It was linked to my confidence. It was linked to all the mates that I knew. And it was linked to loads of opportunities, like playing in bands. You get invited to go and play at like weddings or events, all this stuff. You get invited along. You end up meeting some mad people who, you play one wedding, they open a door and they say, right, I want you to play my birthday, my 50th birthday, it's kicking off, it's on a yacht. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds sick. And then you go there, then someone else loves your music and they're like, okay, well next week we're on top of this hotel, are you playing? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it just opens more and more doors. And but that really comes from, if you're obsessed and if people can see that you're absolutely in love with what you're doing, then it's contagious, isn't it? People really love that enthusiasm.
I also think you're actually kind of a minstrel. Like
yeah, you can say that.
That's a great word.
Troubadour, minstrel.
A wandering minstrel.
The thing about minstrels is that they had a really important role in history because they were the storytellers. They were the ones that reminded the stories, whether they were myth or legends or whatsoever, and they put them into a song, and they went from pub to pub or from bar to bar or from inn to inn, and they were telling the stories. And I think that's what you're doing as well. It's like you said, like your guitar is purely something in between you and you telling your story. Your guitar is almost like a metaphor between you and your stories, and that's what people love, and that's what you love as well, right?
Yeah, mate, that's very well put. As I was saying, it's the guitar is bigger than just the guitar. It's like it shapes every aspect of yourself, and it goes with other stuff. I've got mates. They've got other hobbies that they're obsessed about, and I had one mate. He was into this. This is a good one. He was into all that sort of action role playing. So they'd go out into forests in France,
nice.
And they'd all be given a character card, and they dress up and they'd have like swords and shields and all this stuff, and they'd go out and they'd live for like a few days in a camp, and they'd pretend to be like mages and like wizards and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
And they'd run around, and but from that, so apparently my friend, he used to be this quite shy guy before discovering that, and then he went out and did that, and that was his obsession. And he went on to become, like, he's got his own engineering company now, and he's absolutely minted, and he travels around the world like training people up on engineering. And he said again, it was all from this one hobby that he was absolutely obsessed about, just affected every area of his life. And I guess especially his confidence and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's about finding that passion and following it is a thing, isn't it? Because so many people, I think, they have a passion, but they just think, well, I can't make any money out of that, or it won't, the day job gets in the way, family gets in the way, and that passion disappears, and their life ticks by.
Or even what you just said, like people start laughing about your passion. But so the weird thing is, what happens here is that when you say like, oh, and they all dress up and this and that, I know that everyone goes like, well, at least chuckles about it. But there's a group of people doing that, and they all found each other with that. And so I think that many people are afraid to feel the passion because it's not what the general public does, or something like that. Or like what you said, like being a minstrel, or just I'm gonna go with my guitar and my ukulele. It's a path that not many people take. And the weird thing is, a lot of people will laugh about it, but also, like you said, all your friends are you will find a lot of people that actually do like the same thing.
Yeah, and then if you create content about it, whether it's videos or it's blogs or whatever, the simplest way of getting started with a business, as we're doing, affiliate marketing, if you can find something you can kind of, hitch your ride on, just something that company that's aligned with that, and slowly build up a following, then, we talked about it before on Rolos Pod, wasn't it? There's nothing really that you can't, in this day and age, make an income, that kind of passive income out of. If you just need to find that audience that's the same as you, and if you've got that passion, there's going to be other people with that passion. It's just even if it is a very niche one. But I just want to go on. So what do you think? I know you said you're going back out to, where was it you said you're going in towards the end of the year? Is it back out to Asia?
Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan, yeah.
So what for you then is that vision then? It's obviously playing guitar. How does the sort of business side fit into that? Is it purely the passive affiliate income, or is it that you're combining the two now? So you're creating a business around the guitar lessons or the guitar playing as well?
No, I'm not. I'm not so much creating anything around the guitar. For me, guitar is just about. I want the opportunity to be able to play on stage for 6 months. Play with friends, have regular gigs. I mean, the gigs pay you. The gigs bring you money. But then I also want to have the opportunity to just up and leave, go to the countryside for 6 months and record an album and just work on music, learn new material, get a new set list together, and just juggle that. Spend half a year practicing a set list, rehearsing a set list, and half a year gigging it, and then back and forth. And yeah, the gigs would could prop up that lifestyle, fine, but it'd be pretty tight. I mean, it'd be pretty tight. You sort of, with the gigs, you're making 20k a year. You know what I mean? 25 possibly. It's not masses of money, and I've just got to that point where I just like to, I guess, have a little bit of security. I mean, I was talking about the security blanket and the financial blanket, but I like to have a bit of security. 32 now. And I just see affiliate marketing as just a brilliant way of doing it. I mean, a really nice way of doing it. It's not, I mean, obviously it's not easy. I think we all know that. Yeah. It's not easy, is it? It's
simple. The concept's simple. It's not necessarily easy to do. That's something how I'd describe it. Yeah,
it's I've found myself. Yeah, the concept is simple, but there's a lot of information, and there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to process, and I think the first 6 months have really been. I've just recently realised the first 6 months have actually been just sort of distilling the information. I've found that I've only just starting to get the clarity around what it really means after this 6 months.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's been.
It's a deeper journey, isn't it? Is what I found. It's a journey into your purpose and who you are, and confronting all these things all these blocks that come up, all these fears that you didn't know you had. It's like, I know it's a journey to create an online business. It sounds quite dry, but the real sort of gold in it is this kind of like finding out who you really are. I've found, and building your confidence and your power, and you're empowering yourself to know that you can create your own living rather than having to rely on someone else. It's an amazing journey if you can stick it out. And you've got to be, like you said earlier, and Gary Vee talks about this, is this kind of, if you're not passionate, if you don't love it, you've already lost, because you will give up. One of these blocks will catch you out, and one of these walls will stop you. But if you just love it and you've got this big vision, then you'll break through anything, because it's because your vision is so powerful for you, and you'll just keep pushing through.
There you got exactly also the topic of this podcast is the scarcity, is the willingness to give up. Are you really? Do you want something so badly that you are willing to? What are you willing to give up to reach that goal? I met a traveler girl, backpacker, and she was sitting on a ferry in tropical Thailand, and she was looking at her Facebook, and I said, "What are you doing? You booked a ticket and everything. You are in your gap year. This is the time to expand your life, and you're looking at your Facebook." And so we started talking, and I said, "Delete that app. Just delete the app for just a week."
Right.
She couldn't. She couldn't. And it took her 2 days to come back to me, and she handed me over her phone and said, "Can you delete the app for me?"
Addicted.
Addiction. It's purely addiction, yeah. It is.
It is.
So, and that's the funny thing about, like you guys know, when my boat sank and I lost everything in one go, it's kind of God or the universe saying, okay, go back to the start, and you got a new chance to build up a new empire. You can really go back. But so I think that's the thing here with passion is, what are you willing to give up to follow your passion and to reach the goals?
But this what you say there about social media, I mean that is one that gets a lot of people, this addiction. We talked to Jaden about this in previous pods, these addictions, like his addiction, drugs and alcohol, very obvious, but we've all got these addictions, and a lot of us are addicted to social media, and that's one when you're starting to build your business. Like I'd kind of like largely kicked that habit. As soon as I started building this online business, I'm fully back addicted again, because it's like this is how I'm reaching people on Instagram, and it's starting to I'm having to be very wary of it, because it's starting to creep in again and take me out of the present moment a lot, take me out of the moment with my daughter and my family, this kind of thing. So I think there's things you have to be really careful with as well when you're sort of building a digital business. And have you found that as well, Nick? Are you on social much? I don't know whether it's kind of.
Yeah, mate, I wasn't on social at all until I joined the SFM. Not at all.
Right.
I'd never had a Facebook before. I still don't have Instagram. I never had any of this stuff. Never interested me. But yeah, obviously I got into it. It was like a new world for me. So I became a bit obsessed for a month. I was like, this is brilliant. And now I've just lost the romance with it. I've always been of the mind. I'm a quite militant person. Militant in terms of disciplined. I go, whatever I was doing in my day, I always knew, after work, I put in 3 hours of guitar. So everyone else would be like, Nick, are you coming down to the pub? And I'd be like, no, I'm going to go do this first and this. Yeah, and I just can't be arsed with anything that takes away your time needlessly. And I find, you can just spend too much time. It's like, a lot of people describe it, it's like a dopamine dispenser, innit? Mm-hmm. It just gives you little hits of dopamine. And I just think you got to realize what it's doing. Actually, it's plugging into your brain chemistry, and it's it's just sort of seducing you that way.
Yeah.
And you just got to realize that and switch it off.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the main thing here is the main thing is that the content that you're scrolling through that you don't like. I mean, watching a funny cat video I love it. I mean,
no, so do I.
I mean, that's just good stuff. But and you might even learn something from it. But the amount of content that you actually don't have that hit, and then you kind of get to that thing we talked about a lot, about you are the average of the people you surround yourself with. Is if all your friends and your whole, we've got 200,000 friends now. Yeah. If they all just post stupid stuff, you don't find that hit. So you're not getting educated as well. I think it's more about the not.
And I found this, I agree. And I found Facebook in particular, I came off it. I'd been on it since about 2007. I was fairly new to it at the time when it sort of started hit the masses and the tipping point back then. I've been on for 10, 11 years, but it got to the point through 2018, and I'd just grown tired of it, and I started calling it my mood hoover, and it would just hoover up any positive mood within me, and I just got grown tired of it, and it got to the point where on my iPhone I actually moved the icon about the second or third page along on my home screen, so it was that sort of out of sight, out of mind. Then I suspended my account for a few months, and I just didn't miss it. I just did not miss it.
It's habit, isn't it?
And that was and it was just people just work in the office. People go to the toilet, sit on Facebook for 10 minutes in the toilet cubicles, and they come back and say, "Oh, I've just seen this on Facebook." I go, "No, I'm not interested.
Not bothered,
just
mate.
don't care anymore."
Yeah, but the cat was really cute.
And I didn't miss it. Yeah, but I just didn't miss it. You know what I mean? And my wife was saying, "Oh, so and so's moaning on Facebook again," and so and so's. I've seen this on Facebook. I said, I'm not interested. I don't care. Don't tell me. It ruins my mood. And it's like I said, I called it my mood hoover.
Nick, you have an international crowd of friends, and it is the best way to keep international friends together.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
like that. It is the best way for that. That's the reason why I actually don't. I'm thinking about deleting the Facebook app, but keeping the Messenger app.
Yeah, exactly what I did, Casper. I'd say I removed and come off the Facebook, but just get my Messenger app because still people I like to contact, keep in touch in real time on that or WhatsApp or whatever. But the actual news feed and Facebook and social media in general, it was making me feel depressed. Quite a lot of the time, it was killing my mood. Then again, it's a bit strange that you go into affiliate marketing and you use those channels to... I do, but it's more to spread my own message and my own positive things, and I'm not just on there just to look at someone moaning about whatever innate crap they've got to moan about, or to look at
white privilege.
The millionth cat video,
you're really
white
getting
privilege
angry now.
and stuff. And,
we got it. We found
it. Politics and religion, anything like that, and anyone just discussing that, I'm just not interested in. Not interested.
It's just, it's all that stuff. It's so easy to binge, innit?
Yeah.
And you get sucked into a binge without you even realising it.
Yeah. And it consumes you.
It does. It just, and you can kill half an hour. That's half an hour you could have spent doing something better.
Yeah.
Listen to a podcast.
Listen to this podcast, for example.
Boom! Commission heading your way, Mr.
Robinson. My keep. Already.
Cha-ching.
I think the reason why we do it is almost like it's so easy to escape unpleasant feelings now. It's like, something unpleasant comes up, boredom, or I don't know, a little bit of depression or a bit of anger. It's like, get on the phone. Like, because I remember when I've done sort of meditation retreats in the past, and you think, am I going to do without my phone? But after a day or two of it, you don't miss it at all, because I'm always like checking the sport, the scores, and that used to be my thing, Twitter, checking the football stuff. And amazing how quickly you just kind of forget about it and it's not an issue. I remember saying to this one monk who was leading the retreat, I was saying,
what's the score?
You got the score,
Palace result, mate.
First thing, you say, come on. Who won?
He's got his wireless up in his ear.
I said to him, you know what? I don't miss my phone anymore. When I'm on the sofa now, I'm not going to just pick up my phone when I feel some discomfort. I'm going to actually, feel into the emotion like you should do. And he was going, fantastic, well done, or whatever, something to that effect. But at the end of the retreat then, we all got our phones back and we were all sort of like stood outside the monastery on our phones, and he just kind of walked past.
Lovely picture.
And he sort of like gave me a little knowing smile, he was like, it's got you again.
Back on it.
And sure enough, in a couple of days, I'm back on it, and it sucked me back in.
It's a brilliant analogy, or actually a brilliant example of scarcity, where a lot of people asked me as well when I got out of the desert, right? So I had not been talking to people for 4.5 months. What is the first thing you said to someone? Well, I can't really remember, actually.
What's the Palace result?
How are Ajax doing?
Yeah. Well, no, it's the same thing. Like you come out of the people that go into these silent retreats for 11 days or something like that, and what's the first thing you do, and what's the first thing you pick back up again? And that's kind of the thing that can you do without that or not? Is it that it's brilliant? I can see that picture in front. I just see it in front of my eyes now, like all of you on the phones with the monastery in the background and just a couple of monks going, "Oh my God,
wasted time."
Kids nowadays, wasted time. Don't they ever learn?
Yeah.
I think that just like what I said before. If you put it like in the storage.
It's gone.
And whatever it is, this is even with negative thoughts.
It has to be out of sight, otherwise you'll pick it up.
Out of sight, out of reach.
Out of sight, out of
reach.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
especially when it's a lot of things, you will actually forget what it was. And of course, when I opened my storage, I was like, ooh, my old this and ooh, my old that. And but then I knew if I just give it away, and as you guys know, I gave all my clothes away to Africa and all that kind of stuff, I never miss it because I knew I would not miss it because I didn't even know that I was missing it because I didn't even know what I was missing in the end.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't there.
You were detached from them.
Yeah, it was just. Actually, and I've learned this because of a friend of mine who was living in Amsterdam with his family. They moved to Australia. They had this new house, so they bought some furniture, la la la. And then 2 months later, this big sea shipping container arrived with all their stuff. And my friend said, "Oh no, I wish that boat had sunk. Oh no, what are we going to do with all this stuff? Where are we going to put it? Oh no." He forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like this whole lockdown period, I think has been interesting as well to see where you're attached. Obviously, it hasn't removed everything. I thought about this the other day. Wouldn't it have been interesting if the internet had gone down as well? Then we'd find out really where you're attached.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It could have been a different story, mate.
Then we would have seen some
Kick
happy
off.
people. But it took away like sport, which I first I was like, oh, I'm gutted. Sport. After a few weeks, I was like, I kind of forgot about it. Just little things like going to a restaurant or seeing my parents. Things I'm attached to.
Yeah, amazing how your normal adjusts to a new normal, doesn't
Yes.
it? And how quickly you become comfortable.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I actually really like this because the thing that we started the podcast off with, I think it was the second podcast, was Mark saying that he misses his football matches so much.
Oh, really?
I know. Yeah. The Palace are back now, though.
Yeah, it's literally what
We're having that monk moment now.
Yeah.
He'll be on again next week, and that monk will walk past your window, mate.
When I'm watching the football.
Mid football game.
For those who couldn't see that.
It's been an interesting time, isn't it, for sure? But is there anything you kind of missed during the lockdown, Nick, or you kind of you've been focused?
Mate, this lockdown has changed very little to me because I wasn't working before. Before it kicked off, I told you I sort of took a year out to do my thing. I was 6 months, and it changed very little to my life. But I was going to ask you guys: have you appreciated this time off? I guess you've all had a bit more time to work on your business.
This podcast came out of the lockdown, which is the amazing thing.
Oh, right,
I loved it, to be honest. Like not because we're obviously still working to some degree. Myself and Choni got full-time jobs, and Casper's working as well.
Are you working online for them?
Yeah, I
for
work
those
from home
jobs,
full
or-
time. Yeah.
Well, I am now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm enjoying it so much more, being able to work from effectively like a laptop lifestyle I'm living, but obviously we can't go abroad, that kind of thing. But not commuting, not having to go to an office, and more time with
This is
family,
it.
see my daughter grow up. It's been great for me. I've really enjoyed
This
it.
this lockdown is given all of us a taste of the laptop lifestyle.
Yeah.
So as you said, it's giving you a taste of not commuting, staying at home, setting your own schedule, and all that sort of stuff. And what I'm thinking is, how much is it going to motivate us all having to go back to the 9 to 5 job?
Office.
You're going to get such a kick. You're going to get such a kick in the gut. And you'll be like, holy fuck, I need to make this happen, you know?
There's no way back now. No.
Yeah, I really think that one of the most a reverse culture shock is what's going to happen. I think.
Exactly.
When you go back to this is what every traveller knows, right? When you go the first time you go traveling, you've never been out of Europe, and you go to Thailand, and you think the first weeks are excited, but after 6 months and you go back to Europe, that's where the culture shock kicks in. That's where the real culture shock. And so when people go back to the 9 to 5s now, it's going to be the reverse culture shock, definitely.
There's going to be a lot of people.
It's like you've done
A lot of people doing what we're doing.
you do a weekend at Glastonbury Festival,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you're back at Paddington
Monday
Station,
morning.
Mad.
Yeah.
massive hangover, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what is this place? It's
Especially
a bit bleak. It's a bit bloody
when you come
bleak,
back from the festival and you haven't showered for 3 days or 4 days, and you're still covered with mud, still a bit
You got
drunk.
peacock feathers in your ears.
Yeah, and then you get back to that station and you see all those guys on a Monday morning with their suits and their suitcases. And
great.
go, what are you
It's hell,
doing,
isn't it?
you weirdos? Who's the weirdo now?
Yeah.
Such a shot.
Yeah, that was one mistake I made. I went to, we talked about it on the pod before, I went to Peru and I did an ayahuasca retreat. I completely reconnected with nature, completely cleansed myself. And they advised that you take a week off after that to reintegrate. And I went straight back into work. and it was just awful, absolutely awful.
Still tripping balls.
To have your consciousness expanded like that and be such a high vibration, then come back, and you can see the people around you in a new light. You can see how kind of sad everybody is in these office environments.
Yeah, you're very sensitive to it all, aren't you?
Yeah. Whereas normally you just think, oh, here we go to work again. We'll do another day in front of a monitor. When you've had your mind blown like that, and then you come back and see all these amazing human beings just like robots in front of a computer, it was sad to see. It took me a while to readjust, but like you say, once you've expanded your consciousness like that, it's not really going to go back to how it was completely. And I hope it doesn't. I hope I never go back to a point where I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll just settle for a 9-to-5 job and see out my days. I just can't see it happening now. I just think my eyes are opened, and it's about opening other people's eyes.
This is the whole thing that we're trying to do with the podcast, right?
We're going to do one just to kind of summarise the first series, I think, and then we'll have a little break before we go again for the second series. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing your amazing stories, everyone that came on, and everyone that has been listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening and joining in with our stories. We had some amazing feedback, amazing good conversations. So next week, it's going to be the last one for this season. See you guys in the next one.
Adios, guys.
Cheers, amigos.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Thanks, Nick.
Adios.
Bye.
You have been listening to
Free Amigos.
Hey there, hope you've really enjoyed listening or watching to the conversation today. And as promised, we have all the links to the topics discussed in the description below and also on our website.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to hit that subscribe button or follow the link to our brand new website where you can sign up to our weekly newsletter.
Thank you for watching or listening. We hope you got something good out of it. If you've got any interesting topics you'd like us to discuss or any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And that's it. See you in the next pod. Adios.
Cheers.